Now, I don't endorse genocide, but is a very tricky word. It is a very powerful word. And whatever I say following that but, you are all ready to believe that it is some manner of endorsement of genocide. It doesn't really matter what I say before that but. It doesn't really matter what denial or equivocation or qualification I put before that but. Whatever I say after but, that's what I really mean. Or at the very least, that's what you're going to take to be my meaning. Persons whose religious perspectives give moral or supernatural negative shading to homosexuality are honestly in a difficult position. And I do appreciate that it is a difficult position. I've been talking over the last couple of weeks, since my It Gets Better project video, I've been talking with a lot of Christians about the social ramifications and consequences of homophobia. And many of those conversations have been very heartfelt. Many Christians that I've been talking to have been torn apart by this internal conflict between what they believe to be true and the consequences of saying it, and recognizing those consequences. Now, obviously, I choose my company fairly carefully, and I know that there are people who are not conflicted on that point at all. But there are people who are, and they're in a hell of a spot. But it's what you say after the but that gets heard. I don't condone hate crimes, but and the catch is that even flipping the phrase around is of very, very limited impact. Because the negative is what's going to be heard loudest. Maybe not as loudly as it would if you foolishly put it immediately after the but even flipping it around, I think homosexuality is a sin, but whatever I say after that but isn't going to be quite as loud as what I said before it. Never can be quite as loud as what I said before it. Part of why this needs to be said is that, again, I do hear people that are very, very conflicted on how to approach these issues. And anyone who cares enough to be at least conflicted is someone who I want to help direct their caring where it will be effective. And unfortunately, and this is a rough thing to say, and it's a hard thing to ask, one of the ways that you can be effective is to be silent. If you personally feel, or feel that you have a spiritual mandate that states that homosexuality or non-standard gendering or is sinful, is it as destructive as the responses to it? If these things cause pain, in our lives, in our families, in our society, in our country? Who is bearing the bulk of that pain? I would ask that persons that hold those views ask themselves a very, very difficult question. And I know that it's a difficult question, and I don't ask this lightly. How high a price are you willing other people pay for your sense of what's right? You're not going to be picking up the tab on this one. You can't. It's not possible. Your views expressed, put into the public, will have a cost, and it won't be paid by you. How high a cost are you comfortable with? How many people are you comfortable putting in a position of bearing the consequences of your views? That's the hard part. Here's the easy part. What can you do? Be as beautiful and caring and patient and generous and accepting as I know that you can be, as I've seen you be. Be what your faith calls you to be in the world. Be light. Because there are so many people in desperate need of it. Be the light for people that no one else will reach out to. And when you reach out, no conditions, no ifs, and no buts. I'm thinking of some very specific people that I'm very proud to know, that I know can bring life and warmth and joy into the lives of people in desperate need and in desperate want of those qualities. Do that. You can. You can. Is there anything worth stopping you from doing that?